Okay, are we live now? Yes, we are. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Linux Coffee House. I will give this a few minutes and then we will get started. But I just want to let you all know, if you want to support live streams just like this, then smash that like button and support my channel. Thank you. Also, if you need to contact me, you can find me on MeWe or Mastodon.technology. I am not too hard to find. So, while I wait for this room to fill up, let's find some Linux news articles, shall we? So, let's see if I can find anything. Okay, Linux news. Okay. Okay, so here's a few headlines from the DistroWatch site. So we have a few headlines, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. All right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. Oh, and now my nose is hurting. Ow. Hold on just 1 minute. Let me go fix that. Call for me when he's ready. Okay, people. Sorry about that. I'm back. Okay, I'm just right now. Me and the dog are having a disagreement. He's not wanting to come in, so I'm just leaving him outside for a little bit. Hey, Benny boy, good morning. I had a feeling you'd show up eventually. Okay. Welcome to the Linux Coffee House, Ben. Oh, and it looks like we found our first news article for the live stream this morning, folks. I mean, I covered this a few days ago, but, well, no, a few weeks back. But now it is pretty much official. So let me share my screen and I will show you what I found. Oh, hey, Wondering Star. Good morning. Okay, let me just get that article. Okay, here we go. Earlier this month, we reviewed Red Core Linux, a Gentoo-based desktop distribution. The review mentioned problems with the distribution's Sisyphus graphical package manager, which the Red Core developers looked into. I'm sure many of you have already noticed, but unfortunately, the latest release of Red Core Linux shipped with a partially broken package manager. While Portage Emerge worked awesome as always, Sisyphus had some serious issues under certain circumstances. Sisyphus was unable to perform system upgrades. It may compile packages from source instead of using binary repository, and it may even downgrade packages instead of upgrading them. Many reviewers of the distribution caught these flaws, which made me wonder what is going wrong. And they took another close look at the code. The Red Core blog post includes instructions for upgrading Sisyphus to a fixed version and refreshing the package information. So yeah, Red Core, you certainly did a number. You messed up the package manager for one, so thankfully you pushed a fix out. So does this mean I might try Red Core Linux again? Not yet. I mean, yes, you fixed the package manager, but the one thing that concerns me about Red Core Linux is it snappy and is it stable? That's the thing I'm concerned about. So with that being said, for right now, Red Core Linux is just meh. Okay, so let's just move on to the next article, which is also on DistroWatch, by the way. Okay, Benny boy, you're going to like this one. The Arch Linux team has published a notice about a change to the distribution which requires minimal intervention. The announcement reads as follows. The base group has been replaced by a meta package of the same name. We advise users to install this package, pacman space hyphen syu hyphen base, as it is effectively mandatory from now on. Excuse me. Users requesting support are expected to be running a system with the base package addendum. Be aware that base as it stands does not currently contain a kernel, an editor, file system tools, etc., and other software you might expect. You will have to install these separately on new installations. So, Ben, what do you think of that? We have to install Arch a bit more manually than usual now. Isn't that wonderful? I don't think it is. Okay. All right. Next article, which is also on DistroWatch. OpenSUSE 15.0 nears its end of life cycle. The OpenSUSE team has sent out a reminder that OpenSUSE 15.0 will soon reach the end of its supported life cycle. This is the advanced discontinuation notice for OpenSUSE Leap 15.0 on November 30th, 2019. OpenSUSE Leap 15.0 will reach its end of support after 1.5 years of lifetime. It was released on May 2018. OpenSUSE Leap 15.0 will receive no further maintenance or security updates after that date. It is recommended for OpenSUSE Leap users to upgrade to the current release OpenSUSE Leap 15.1. So there you go. Hey Trevor, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for watching. Okay, Benny boy, what did you say? I'm not doing. Yeah, I'm not doing Vanilla Arch Linux anymore either, Ben. That's just stupid for what they did. I The one thing I have to say on the matter, Ben, is number one, they should have just left Arch Linux the way it is. No enhancements, no modification, nothing. Period. Bang. That's it. That's my opinion. I mean, if they wanted to change Arch Linux so badly, they should have just made another Arch Linux distro. That's all I gotta say on the matter. Okay. Let me get another article for you guys. Um okay. Well, I'm live streaming this live installation of Haiku in about a week or two, so we might as well just cover this. Haiku improves ARM support. The Haiku team has been working on improving many aspects of their lightweight operating system. Haiku's developers have been updating their documentation, improving driver support, and making disk scanning more resilient against errors and corrupted partitions. The team is also working towards ARM compatibility both for 32 and 64-bit ARM processors. Some initial work for ARM 64 was completed by, can't pronounce your name. This includes setting up the Haiku ports package declarations, writing the early boot files, and in general getting the build system going. Jaroslav Pelkazlar also contributed several further patches, some of these still undergoing review, providing the initial interrupt heading support and various stubs to let things compile. Kalilisti5 did some work on 32 ARM as well, cleaning up some of the code to better match other platforms and preparing the reuse of EFI for ARM and ARM 64. As U-Boot now implements an EFI interface, which would make things much simpler for our ARM boot process if we manage to use it. Details on the work going into Haiku can be found in the project's monthly newsletter. Very interesting developments from the Haiku team. You're welcome, Wandering Star. I'm always happy. I'm always there to help Trevor, no matter what. Always. One of my best friends I've ever had. Okay. So, let's see here. Before I get into the next news section, I just want to get a few things out of the way. Let me think. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Tuesday, besides doing my usual Linux report, I will also be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. I don't know which deck it's going to be yet, but there will be a deck profile. As well as there being a deck profile done on Thursday besides my usual tech report. What I'm most likely going to do for the next several weeks, whenever I can get the time for it, is I want to put in a bit more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content as possible. This way my Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans aren't forgotten. So that's what I want to do. Because, I mean, my channel is a technology / Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel, so that's how I want to treat it. So basically, I want to balance both of them. And also, one of the things I am planning to do at some point is to do my third annual YGO Pro Yu-Gi-Oh live stream, to where I pretty much duel people online. Whenever I can get the time for it, because I'm so busy these days. I don't know when that's going to happen. Okay. Let me just turn Discord off. I don't need that on right now. Yeah, turn that off. There we go. Okay. Now to get on to the next news section. So for the next section in our news, we're going to go to slashdot.org. So what we got here is we got a few articles here. So what we'll do is, before we read these articles, what we're going to do is, before we read these articles, is I got to make sure that it's the one that I need to read. Oh, and we've already come across a good one. All right. Okay. We got one here, folks, and it's a good one. Red Hat CFO dismissed from company, forfeits $4 million retention award. Red Hat's finance chief Eric Shandler has been dismissed from the company, forfeiting a $4 million retention award that was agreed to ahead of Red Hat's acquisition by IBM. The Raleigh, North Carolina-based software company confirmed late Thursday that Mr. Shandler was no longer working at Red Hat. Eric was dismissed without pay in connection with Red Hat's workspace standards. A company spokesman said in a statement, the company, which said that its accounting and control functions remained healthy on Friday, declined to provide specifics as to what led to Mr. Shandler's dismissal. Mr. Shandler didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Mr. Shandler was named Red Hat's permanent chief financial officer in April 2017 after a stint as acting CFO. According to the spokeswoman, he had served in various finance roles at IBM and Lenovo before joining Red Hat in 2015. His departure puts Red Hat in a difficult spot, says Ivan Finsev, director of research at Tigris Financial Partners, an investment banking firm. The fallout for companies in these situations is not only the dismissal of an executive, but also the litigation risk. Mr. Finsev said companies would be held responsible for not creating and maintaining a proper workspace environment. IBM said it supports Red Hat's decision to dismiss Mr. Shandler. Our values are fully aligned in this area, a spokesman said. Wow. Wow. Red Hat took a blow there. Red Hat took a blow. My. Simply Linux. Hello, Mr. Alistair. How are you doing, buddy? Welcome to the Linux Coffee House. Okay. Let's find another news article, shall we? Okay. Hold on, guys. I gotta let my dog in real quick. I will be right back. Okay, people, I'm back. Let's just see what's going on here. Okay, looks like everyone's doing good. Oh, good. That's wonderful. Simply Linux. Nice. Okay, let's get to our next article. Okay, let's see. If I can find a good one. Come on. I guess there's no other articles. Let's look at let's look at Linux Today. Maybe I could find something there. Okay. Okay. Ooh, here we go. This one's an interesting article. Millions of phones leaking information via Tor. There is a privacy threat lurking on perhaps hundreds of millions of devices that could enable potential attackers to attack and to track and profile users. By using information leaked via the Tor network, even if the users never intentionally installed Tor in the first place, let you say we all look at the full story of this, which this is from the Info Security Group. Okay, here's the full article. There is a privacy threat. Well, the first half up there, I read that. So we'll just continue. In a session at the Sector Security Conference in Toronto, Canada on October 10th, researchers Adam Podgorski and Malene Bergavel from Dataland Canada outlined and demonstrated previously undisclosed research into how they were able to determine that personally identifiable information is being leaked by millions of mobile users every day over the Tor network. The irony of this issue is that Tor is a technology and a network that is intended to help provide and enable anonymity for users. With Tor, traffic travels through a number of different network hops to an eventual exit point in the hope of masking where the traffic originated from. Podgorski said that there are some users that choose to install a Tor browser on their mobile devices, but that's not the problem. The problem is that Tor is being installed on mobile applications without user knowledge and potentially putting users at risk. The researchers explained that they set up several Tor exit nodes just to see what they could find. And the results were surprising. The researchers found that approximately 30% of all Android devices are transmitting data over the Tor network. You're probably scratching your head now like we were a couple of months ago, because that doesn't make any sense, Podgorski said. There's no way a third of Android users know that Tor is and are actually using it. What the researchers determined is that Tor is being bundled, enabled, and installed in other applications that are not aware of its existence. It is not entirely clear to the researchers why Tor is being bundled with so many applications, Podgorski said. that it could be due to misunderstanding of the technology and how it can be used. Tor was also found on Apple iOS devices, but the number were smaller and only approximately 5% of devices sending data. And as you guys can see here, here's the rest of the information. If you guys want to look at it for yourselves, I'll give you about a minute or two. But yeah, this is scary. This is very, very scary. Why and why? That's pretty much the question. Why and why is Tor being bundled into applications without the user's consent? That is not right. And that needs to stop. Let's see. Where did you go for your dog? Well, maybe. But yeah, I just have one thing to say about Tor being bundled. And that is the simple fact, hey Hank, that Tor is being bundled into other applications without the user's explicit written consent. Written consent, that's the thing here. Oh, Hank, you just missed a bombshell of an article. I just read an article from a security site that Tor is being bundled into other applications on Android devices without the user's explicit consent or acknowledgement. That is not right. That's dangerous. Very dangerous. Because it can be used to track what the user is doing, and it can be used to get data. This is like the start of a major data collection thing. That's just my point of view, though. Yeah. Basically, this is what the article is, Hank. Let me show you. Okay, this is the article here. Millions of phones leaking information via Tor. There is a privacy threat lurking on perhaps hundreds of millions of devices that could enable potential attackers to track and profile users by using the information leaked via the Tor network, even if the users never intentionally installed Tor in the first place. That's pretty much what we're getting at here, Hank. Basically, this is not good. Very not good. Of course, no problem. I will link it to you right now. In fact, I will post the article, people, in the chat now so you all can see it. There you go. So there's the article. You all can look at it as much as you want. So the moral of the story is, be very careful about your Android device, because you may not know it has the Tor network on it, and you may not know if somebody is tracking you or getting your data. This is why I stress so much, be cautious about your privacy and security. Make sure no data collection is going on in the background. I mean, you may not be able to turn it off, but you can minimize most of it as much as you can via getting a privacy-focused web browser, using a whole bunch of scripts, whatever you need to do. I mean, there are ways to stay safe and private on the internet. There are ways. It's just, we got to make it happen. Yeah. Basically, Hank, that's pretty much the issue. Spyware is a huge problem, and it's not just for that, retaining to that article alone. Spyware has been going on for years, and it is a pandemic. And these companies that make all this spyware, they need to be shut down. All of them. All right. Let me get to the next article. Excuse me. Okay. Let's just see if I can find something that's interesting. Um, hmm. Uh, let's see. Oh, well, here's a bit of interesting news. Hmm. Um, let's go to the complete story once again. This way we can get the full view of it. This is from Linux Uprising. System Cleaner BleachBit 2.3 switches to GTK free, includes much faster file scanning. BleachBit, a system cleaner and more for Linux and Windows, was updated to version 2.3 beta recently, receiving some major changes. The new version was upgraded from GTK2 to GTK3. File scanning should be much faster, and there's also a new dark mode. And for those who don't know what BleachBit is, it's pretty much a free and open source computer cleaner that can clean out your computer. It's basically Linux's alternative to CCleaner. But anyway, it says right here in the notes here, the latest version of BleachBit 2.3 beta that will lead it to the 3.0 stable version comes with an updated user interface, now includes GTK free under the hood, and continues to use Python 2, which will reach the end of life on January 1st, 2020. For the next release, though, the focus is to complete the transition to Python free. With the switch to GTK free, BleachBit was also updated to use header bars. And there's also a new dark mode option. BleachBit 2.3 also includes a major new feature. Chaff, I don't even know how to pronounce that. From the app menu, choose Make Chaff. This allows BleachBit to create files to confuse digital forensics, making the application even better at protecting private data. The term comes from innovation, where chaff is a physical countermeasure that confuses radar by making it seem like there are additional aircraft in the sky, and chaff protects the aircraft by misdirecting radar-guided missiles. Interesting, I guess. Besides these changes, BleachBit 2.3 also includes much faster file scanning. This should be most noticeable in the application startup, preview, deep scan, and when deleting many small files. The changelog mentions a 50% speed increase on Ubuntu 19.4 and Windows 10 when doing a deep scan with hot cache and without deleting any files. New option for debug logging for the command line, as well as a new GUI preference for this. Added stop button to abort the preview and cleaning process. The application window position, size, and state is now saved when closing BleachBit and restored on start. Improved many of its cleaners and updated cache paths for VLC and Thunderbird cleaners on Linux, and various other improvements and bug fixes. So what do you guys think of BleachBit? Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay, let me see the comments here. Nothing system breaking since the updater is halting the updates, but it is... Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I run the unstable branch. They broke that one. Breaking updates on my system until that package cleansing is fixed. I have a thing of never using system cleaner app. The only system cleaner app, Hank, I will ever use is Stacer. I use Stacer. That's the one I use. And Stacer has never let me down. It's a wonderful cleaning tool for Linux. And it's exclusive to Linux. You will not find it on any other OS. Whereas with BleachBit, it's available for Linux and Windows. So take your pick. Okay, so what do you all say we look at more news? Because there's just a whole bunch of good things coming out of the woodwork today. Okay. Let's see. Let's do older posts. Okay, well, there's not really much here. So let's just go back to Linux today. Okay. Oh, here's a nice one. This is an article about open source hardware, and this is from the Tech Republic. What do you say we look at this? I love talking about open source hardware. I love it. Okay. Let me check the comments real quick. Ricky Trident is a decent news. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I use BleachBit when building my ISOs. That's nice, Alistair. Very nice. Okay. Here's our next article, people, from the Tech Republic. Open source hardware, the problems and promises. Open source hardware projects have struggled to gain the mass audience that popular open source software projects have. This may not matter. Is open source hardware a thing? No. I'm not asking whether open source hardware projects exist. Of course they do. Whether high-profile projects like Open Compute from Facebook or lower-profile projects like the homebrew D-Star Radio for amateur radio enthusiasts? No. What I mean is, have any open-source hardware projects taken off similar to Kubernetes, Apache Kafka, or Linux? And perhaps just as interestingly, does an open source hardware project have to reach that level of prominence in order to be useful? So what we got here is this, people. The question arose during a convention with Jason Huggins, founder and CEO of Tabster Robotics. As Huggins related, I always wanted to play with robots professionally, but had no idea how to get there. As a test automation engineer at Google, and then as the co-founder of Selenium, open source project, a framework that enables browser automation and testing. Higgins was on the path to get to his robotics future and just didn't realize it. Tinkering, he built a button-pushing robot, one capable of replicating the human motion of pushing a touch button, a touch screen. And they're playing Angry Birds back when that was a thing. In so doing, he caught the attention of Mercedes-Benz, which ordered 10 and put Huggins in on his current path. What was that path exactly? Huggins open-sourced Tapster's hardware and software, encouraging contributions like this one from Pierre-Yves, can't pronounce his name. There haven't been millions of contributions, however, or even hundreds. Does the fact that it's open source really matter? On one hand, the answer is clearly yes. Open source encourages a level of permeability into the mechanics of a project. This instills trust. As Huggins said of the early unexpected success of his screen tapping robot, the robot wasn't like I had 50,000 downloads and it was time to quit my job, but I started to realize that it wasn't a joke, an art project. There was real people in quality control who made tangible physical projects, and they were having difficulty at the intersection between software and hardware. By open sourcing Tapster, Huggins not only gave such people a product they could use to navigate the intersection between software and hardware, but also the means to elevate it at low cost, while maintaining their need to trust Huggins as its developer. They could inspect the hardware designs and associated code and see for themselves. And as you guys can see here, here's more of the article. It explains a whole bunch more about what's going on. And here's the last part of it. So, my question to you guys, does open source hardware matter? I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, let's see the comments. Okay, but it turned out impossible. Kernel 4.19 is hard-coded in the setup. I can't ship anything new without altering the foundation of Manjaro. So next kernel release is the only time of the year where I can actually achieve it. Well, that sucks. I can load whatever kernel I like, including more than one if necessary. I can load more than one, but it breaks the install scripts, so you would end up with a broken Manjaro. Well, a broken system. All right. See you later, Alistair. Manually altering that just isn't what for me. Open source hardware would be cool if useful, but I care more about... Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Hank. I mean, open source software hardware would be nice if used correctly, but open source software is the future here. I mean, look at how far open source software has come. It's come a long way over the past 20 years. Long way. I mean, and think of it this way, Hank. Since Richard Stallman is not with the Free Software Foundation anymore, once the new president arrives, the Free Software Foundation is going to be so much better than what it used to be, and they'll be able to promote free software a lot more. I keep I do put all this Intel ME nonsense. Yeah, I agree, Hank. I agree. Okay, people. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it this about 5 minutes and we'll wrap this thing up. I appreciate you all for coming. If you want to see more live streams just like this, then please smash that like button and support my channel. Thank you. Also, if you need to contact me, you can find me on mastodon.technology. Just look for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88. And you can just look for me on MeWe. I'm not too difficult to find. So I'll give this about 5 minutes and we'll wrap things up. Okay. So I can pretty much just stop sharing the screen now. There we go. Okay. Now, also just letting you guys know, here is the video schedule for this upcoming week. Tuesday will be a Linux report, followed by a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Thursday will be a tech report, followed by a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. So that's the video schedule for the week. Okay. Okay. All right, we got about 3 minutes and we'll wrap things up here. Okay. I just want to look up one final thing before we say adieu. Goodbye. Oh, and it looks like I found that thing. Very nice. Okay, here's one final article. This one is a very short article. This won't take long. Okay. 5 reasons to install Linux today. Number 1, Linux is free. In the Linux ecosystem, the word free has 2 meanings. Free as in freedom and free as in beer. The first one refers to freedom of doing whatever you wish with the operating system, for example, personal or commercial use. The second is indicative of the fact that most 99% Linux distributions, the flavors of Linux, so to speak, can be downloaded and used on as many computers at absolutely no cost. Commercial distributions sometimes preferred on enterprise environments due to the available support contracts offered by the companies behind them. Red Hat with its superstar Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Number 2, Linux can bring old hardware back to life. Yes, you read that right. If you have an old computer gathering dust because it no longer can afford the system requirements of other operating systems, Linux is here to save your day, and I speak out on experience on this. My first computer, a high school graduation present my mother gave me near the end of 2000, has now been running as a home server for 5 years now, always with the latest Debian stable release. Number 3. Linux is the best tool to learn how computers work. Even for new users, it's relatively easy to access information about about and interact with the computer's hardware. With command line tools such as DMESG, which lists messages from the kernel, and a little patience, you can easily learn what happens internally since you press the power button until you get a fully usable operating system, and that is just one example. Number 4. Linux is the best tool to get started with programming. I always say that I would have loved to have been introduced to Linux much earlier than I was. When the operating system is installed, it includes all the necessary tools to get started with Python programming, one of the most popular object-oriented programming languages in use today. Python is used to introduce computer scientists and science majors to programming in several top-notch universities. And finally, lots, and I mean lots, of free world-class software. I know. This item is closely related to number 1, but I decided to make it a separate one. Why? Because it highlights the fact that the software available for Linux today is mostly made possible by a large army of volunteers. Yes, people who write outstanding software without making a quarter out of it in some cases. There are companies providing the funds for the development and maintenance of the software. The operating system is so stable that they want to make sure their software runs on it. That is why large companies make substantial contributions in terms of donations or manpower to the Linux ecosystem. And that's pretty much the top 5 reasons why you should install Linux. So, anyway, people, that's going to be it for this edition of the Linux Coffee House. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to do these every Monday. Can't guarantee anything, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and until next time, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying see you later. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you.